Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Welcome to Story Route Zero, episode 96. It's just two of us this week, but it's the better two. I'm one of your hosts, Jason, and alongside me is Michaela. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. I guess. I don't even know. Nice long weekend, sort of. Not the most relaxing of weekends. The holidays never are, but at least it wasn't work.
And of course, with the holidays comes video game sales. So before we get into what games we're playing, did we make any video game purchases?
A couple, two treats. So Black Friday pickups for me. I had already ordered Deathloop, which I got for $25, as you know. Couldn't pass it up. I got Guardians of the Galaxy physically as well for $30 for a game that's been out for a month. And I picked up digitally Divinity Original Sin 2. I got for like $23.
Nice.
The complete version. That's going in the backlog for now. I've wanted to try it. Obviously, I know people rave about the game. I've just never gotten into it because it's a large investment time-wise, and also I'm always hesitant like with games like that were like maybe geared towards more PC, maybe not always easy control scheme-wise and menuing on console, but I've heard amazing things about it. I also picked up Mass Effect, the trilogy, Legendary Edition for half off digitally, and I picked up Other Side for a very steep discount as well. I want to say I got that for like $10.
Oh, that's that excuse me, that black and white turn-based.
It's an SRPG with like almost like a anime horror aesthetic to it.
But it's like a noir type art, like it's a black and white stylistic with like red.
Yeah.
And, like I could picture the
Yeah, it's a strategy, tactical, creepy looking.
yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's all I did.
Let me look.
That's 5 games. But I got 5 games basically for the price of 2 full price AAA games. So
That's not bad.
no. And you?
Yeah, I decided to get because I don't care what anyone thinks. Cyberpunk went on sale for $25, so I got that. I got Dragon Quest 11S digitally for $33.
Not bad for that game too. You got it for the Switch?
Yes, Switch.
Yeah.
And I picked up wasn't a Black Friday sale, but it came out a physical release of Bard's Gold, which was one of the first games I reviewed for my own blog back when I decided to write about games. So I'm like, yeah, I kind of have to. So.
Oh, I also picked up something else that's not a game and wasn't on Black Friday sale, but I saw it while I was Black Friday shopping.
Go on.
I caved so hard. I got the PowerA Hades controller for Switch with the back buttons. I'm so weak.
I did buy a Fire Stick for $25. They were half off. The 4K Fire Stick.
Nice.
So I'm moving the Chromecast Ultra to a different room, and now all our rooms have either Chromecasts or Fire Sticks. It's just easier because the girls, I mean, we have the PS4 remote, but it's more convoluted because I got to go into TV video, then pick. So with the Fire Stick, they can just access the video. But enough of that. What you playing?
I played a little bit more of SMT5 because, like I said, I'm not dropping the game. It's become my I don't feel like paying attention game, which isn't a great thing to say, but it's just like
not for that type of. That's like a.
it's just a going through the motions type of thing. When I don't feel like doing anything else, I've played a little bit more of exploring like that second netherworld region. So I haven't gone very far from last time. I barely played it, maybe like an hour tops, and I fucked up by accident. Also, I don't know why, but when I said fucked up, my Alexa lit up like I was talking to her. Like she's a fuck up. She's sitting on the desk next to me.
She is. I'm not gonna.
Such a fuck up.
I mean, we're biased to Google in this home, but the responses are much. Google's more. You know what it is? Google knows it's just a search engine. Alexa tries to like be like a AI and like kind of interact, but like a lot of times it's just like, I found this on the web. It's like, if you're just looking at the web, just tell me. You don't need to be like.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't buy this thing; it was a present, but I have started using it. I use it for like timers and reminders.
And it works for that pretty well. But like the girls always ask like questions.
Yeah,
I found this on the web. It's like.
Yeah, no. It tells me when my packages have been delivered.
Apparently she's watching your language.
Yes, apparently. Fuck. Now it's not letting it. Whatever. Sorry, YouTube. So what was I talking? So I played a little bit more SMT5. I actually didn't play a ton. So obviously last week was Thanksgiving and I didn't work Thursday, Friday. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday were all dedicated family days for me. So I did very little gaming those days. I played mostly like Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday. And what I was focusing on was Death's Door, which went multi-plat last Tuesday. So it released PC and Xbox, like the first half of this year? I feel like it's been a while. Yeah. And then obviously it came to Switch and PlayStation last Tuesday. And for those who are not familiar with Death's Door, it is an indie game from the people who did Titan Souls. Yes.
Yep.
I think
because you got Titan Souls for free if you pre-ordered.
Yes, I didn't know that was a thing, so I went into my library and I'm like, I don't remember buying this.
I went and bought because I already own it on PC, so I bought the Switch physical, and I bought it, and then like a day later, I got an email from Devolver through Special Reserve. Thanks for pre-ordering. Here's your code for Titan Souls. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. See, I didn't even I must have missed something because I just went into my library on the PlayStation app and I was like, I have another game. I didn't do that.
I actually have to check to see what the code is for because I bought the Switch physical. So I don't know if Titan Souls is on Switch.
I mean, it's gotta be.
I think it might be because I have it for PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I if it's for PC, I'll use it too, but.
Yeah, it's nice. Free game. But yes, Death's Door. So Death's Door is a mishmash of genres. It's like, so at its basic, most broad level definition, it's an isometric action game.
It's like a mini Zelda clone.
It is kind of Zelda-y. It's got some Metroid-y exploration elements to it. It's got some, and because it is that Metroid, it's also got a little bit of that Souls element to it. Because as we've talked about, Souls exploration takes from Metroidvania exploration with the whole, like, you can see you can go somewhere, but you don't have the ability to get there yet. And you got to backtrack and then you'll be able to explore more. It's got that going on, but it's got like the Zelda-esque, like, puzzle enemy stuff, and the like way that you pick up, like even just the animation for when you pick up shiny objects in the environment. He like spins around and holds it up like Link does.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
animation is similar.
you get
So
the
it's got a
heart,
little
you're like, or
yes,
Mario with the star.
yes, exactly. So it's like a Zelda Metroid Souls isometric mashup.
That's about accurate.
Yeah. And it's got a very dry but also witty sense of humor to it. So I texted you about this. One of the characters. So I'm skipping ahead of myself. So you play as a crow, and this crow is basically like a soul reaper, a grim reaper. And you are sent to reap this large soul, but then this big older crow comes and is a dick and steals that soul. And so now you're fucked because you when you are sent to reap a soul, your crow, like the crows become mortal. So he's now gonna age and die if he doesn't like fix his situation. And he needs to open death's door, hence the name of the game. So he needs to collect the big crow is like, you've now inherited my issue because I've fucked with your mission. So you need to go like headhunt these 3 large souls. And he tells you like there's this like pottery ceramic based witch to the north, and there's this like evil marsh king in the east or the south, and I forget what the third one is because I haven't gotten to him yet. So basically you know what your objectives are, and there's a hub world which is like the Soul Reaper's headquarters, and in this headquarters there's other crows that are kind of weird little characters. And so like the head of security is one of the crows, and his name is Ball Plart, as in Paul Blart, Mall Cop. And then like the ceramic witch cursed her grandson with a pot for a head, so he is introduced as Pothead. It's got that kind of humor going on. There's if you get to this like abandoned shipyard type of respite place, there you can like sit down and have a meal, and the chef is like this corpse that's being controlled by an octopus that's pretending that it's a real human being. It's like, you don't see the octopus behind the screen. This is totally a normal human being serving you food, but it's a dead body that's just being puppeteered by an octopus. Like, I don't know. It's weird shit. I know that one of the trophies for this game, which I'm not, that I did not even attempt to go for, and I know this from watching the completionist video on this game. One of the episodes you can find in the hub before you even really start the game is an umbrella, which does like half damage to everything. And I know there's an achievement for beating the whole game with just the umbrella. And I'd rather play around with the different weapons and have fun and not bang my head against a wall.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a game that does not hand out trophies at all. Like at all. Like I didn't get trophies for taking down any bosses, including like the first giant soul. Like I defeated the ceramic witch before moving on to the next giant soul, which is the Marsh King person. So like I've advanced the plot. I've met the Lord of Doors. So like getting through like a chapter of the game, defeating any of the bosses, no trophies have popped. It's like you have to earn, there is no you got a sticker for showing up type of trophies. Like it's the opposite of Eldest Souls, which is like, here's a trophy for dying, here's a trophy for dying to a log, here's a trophy for getting to this area. This is like, nope, you need to do some obscure strange shit to get these trophies. It's like
The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
Like I think my first playthrough of The Last of Us Part 1, I had 2 trophies.
Like, yeah, I've played for 5 hours plus before I got 1 trophy, and it was for having sitting down and accepting the meal from the totally not dead body controlled by an octopus. So like literally defeating bosses, no trophies. Advancing the story, no trophies. So it looks like I'm not playing the game if you look at my trophy list, but I'm playing the game. The combat's fun. It's your traditional, like you have your melee attack, a dodge, and you have ranged, which you unlock as you go. So you start off with just a bow, and then as you're working on the ceramic witches area, you get a fire magic spell. And you can level up. So you have basically 4 attributes that you can level up. So you gain souls from defeating things, and you can also find them in the environment. And the environments are kind of Zelda puzzly, where you need to like figure out how to like drop down onto this thing or to whatever. Or like once you get the fire spell, you can burn away cobwebs that were previously in your way and shit like that, or light lanterns on fire that then cause other reactions in the environment. And that's like the Metroid backtracking to like find stuff type of thing. But it's not as friendly as a Metroidvania, because so far as I'm aware, there is no map.
Oh,
You just need to remember shit and go find it. There is no map. You cannot pull up a map and be like, oh, this is, how far I went this way and that way. There's none of that. Luckily, fast travel is pretty easy. So each, couple screens or areas or whatever is going to have a door that leads back to the central hub. And then you can just pop in and out of all the different doors. So you can get to different checkpoints pretty easily. And that's also basically the only way to force a save as far as I'm aware. So anytime you quit out of the game, you're going to go back to the last door you went through. But yeah, and you can spend souls on improving your melee strength, your magic strength, your speed and agility, and something else. There's 4 attributes that you can level up 4 times, I think is the max for each one.
okay.
It costs 400, 600, 800, and then 1,000, I think, to level up your attribute, and then it's maxed, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, there's just a few collectibles in the environment. There's a couple different weapons. Like I picked up some like dual knife thingies that are like fast, but not as strong as like your starting sword. But can chain more attacks together, stuff like that. Definitely the music is really good. Aesthetically, this game is gorgeous. That's kind of what drew me in initially, is like this game looked great. It sounds great. It's got a playfulness to it, like I said, with the wit and the humor. It's kind of weird, but also just kind of fun. And I don't know, if you like Zelda and or Souls and or Metroidvanias that apparently don't have maps, highly recommend so far. Not a particularly big game. I don't know how much this is gonna go beyond. Like there's only 3 major bosses that you're working towards, with some mini bosses along the way. And once you do that, I'm assuming there's gonna be some sort of conflict with this Lord of Doors, who seems like a real sketchball, but I don't know anything about him yet. But he's like the head honcho. And when you meet him, he's sitting having a cup of coffee, and his mug says, world's best lord. Like I said, it's just like a witty, humorful like game. I like Agatha the typist, who literally just wants to type out forms until she dies. And she gets so excited every time you like fuck up. She's like, more paperwork for me. I'm like, you go, girl, you do you. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's fun, and it's really unique personality, which is what I criticize SMT for not having.
I think it's interesting because the game came out July 20th originally, but you're hearing more about it now. I feel maybe it's the circles.
I mean, a lot of people raved about it when it released on Xbox and PC, but only for the first like week or 2 of release, and then it fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Devolver's like publisher of the year. Like between this, Loop Hero, Inscryption, They have
Devolver always, well, they publish more games like than most.
Weird West is January. Supposedly there's a Card Shark trailer tomorrow. I mean, they're constantly, and they're not just like I know there's silly on the internet. Oh, it's an indie, ew, but like they're not like just because I guess by definition are they indies anymore? Devolver's so big, like, but I don't think that. I think they just publish them.
Devolver, yeah, they don't
I don't
really
think
help
they actually help. I don't think there's any.
develop. Yeah, they publish, which obviously helps money-wise for people who are indies and they don't have the platform to reach people the way that, Devolver, like I'm willing to bet, without a Devolver, games like Death's Door and a bunch of others maybe only go to PC. You know what I mean? Like they probably don't have the budget and the resources to do PC and Xbox and Switch and PlayStation.
Right. Like I'd say the biggest game Devolver has or is behind would be Shadow Warrior. As terms of game being big, not
like production quality, resources, budget size.
Yeah. So no, I mean, they keep turning it out and we keep buying them and enjoying them. So, yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
So I beat Inscryption again. Well, I won a round. Okay, and I'm gonna warn him not to listen. This is your spoiler warning. Spoiler.
Matt, skip.
Spoiler warning. You still listening? We're still at a spoiler warning.
We'll give you a signal.
I'm gonna spoil this for you because you're not gonna play, right? Well, it's PC only, so
yeah. So I can't.
When you beat the game, you find out you're this like video game collector who found this disc. You're playing the game and you're playing the game in the game. So you've seen like the screens. So it goes out to like this, literally you're watching these clips off a floppy disk. Like you found a floppy disk and like it's one of those like you found it at a garage sale and you're playing. And like the story seems to lead to you escaping. So it's not just a card game. And like, so I won a round. The next round, now that I know I'm someone who's playing as someone playing the game, there's like commentary like, again, like, and it's like, but it's weird because it's like, it's almost like my commentary would be like, I end up like at this, like, again, but like it's in game now. And it's like the matrix is glitching. So it's like, I'm like getting closer to what the hell is going on here. But I'm also feeling like I'm not close at all.
It's Inception-y, which
yes,
I mean, it's called Inscryption, but.
Yeah. All right. Spoiler done.
Matt, it's okay.
I'll do timestamps.
That was only like 2 minutes.
So played that. Been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Origins. I still hate the Animus, no matter what. Those Animus scenes.
They get worse every time.
Like I'm just like, shut the fuck up, Layla.
Nobody cares.
But otherwise, but you know what? It's different too in that it's not just so from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, it's just like your Ghost Recon, your Far Cry, like clear the map, question marks. But I feel like the pacing is slower because, well, one, we're ancient Egypt. You're not fast traveling and airdropping it. So I'm more inclined to.
There are no planes for you to crash here.
I'm more inclined to, okay, I'm going to do this quest, but then along the way, like, oh, I'll do this. Or like, yeah, I don't want to.
You get sidetracked super hard.
I get sidetracked, but I don't because there's so many, and it's more like, and there's a lot of escort quests, and I fucking hate escort quests in every game.
It's a lot of copy paste material, and you can only clear the same fort so many fucking times.
and some of the escorts are literally escorts, like like I had to carry some dumbass back,
Yep.
and not like I literally had to hold them on my back.
Yep.
And somehow though, you seem to move faster in game when you're carrying someone. It's like
So
we're gonna make up the
you gotta
fact.
hustle with them when you got all those corpses. I used to
Yeah.
make murder bushes when I played Origins. That was one of my favorite activities, was kill everybody and stack them in the same bush. Gives me a quick
I
shot
like
of
that there's
joy.
a lot of weapons.
Yep.
Like there's different types, like
And
it's
they move and feel significantly different.
yes, like you can get the hook sword, which does, and then like there's a broadsword. But then I just found the dual swords, and it's so much faster.
Yep.
But then you can bring out like the heavy weapon, which is, and even the bow and arrows, like one of them
Mhm.
zooms in, one shoots basically.
It's like a sniper bow. Long
Yeah,
range.
then there's the one that just you blow your whole load in one shot.
Mhm.
It's like all of a sudden no ammo. I took 2 shots. What the? Yeah. So no, enjoying it. I don't know time frame progression where how far I'm in. I mean I've met Cleopatra.
I don't remember the story super
Yeah.
well, minus the climax,
I've
really.
unlocked the second row of kill list. I
Okay.
haven't killed everyone, but the second row unlocked. So
I haven't played this game in 4 years at this point, so
Yeah.
it's very hazy.
so I know I'm not platinuming it, but we'll see where I
I
go.
did, and I don't recommend it.
What else?
Have you done any Elefunks yet?
No, I haven't. I played a Metroidvania that actually Moose shared with us a couple weeks ago, Sheepo.
Okay, not the one I was thinking, but okay.
So you're this sheep. I don't even, that's not even accurate. You're this little white creature. The story goes, it's your first day on the job. You not crash, you land on this planet. You're supposed to collect all the species, an egg of each to study. And like, they're like, oh, you only have 1 day to do it. But then it's like, but you're in luck because a day on Sebron is 8,000 years. So it's like, okay. So it's not rushed. And when you collect an egg, you basically can shapeshift into what you collect. And as you do it, it's a Metroidvania in that sense. Like you collect an egg, so now I can transform to the bird and fly up to ledges that I couldn't. But like all the transformations are like 5-10 seconds. So like you have to and then you get another thing and another, and it's not that you don't fight anything, but you don't have attacks. So like there's 6 bosses. You basically have the bosses kill themselves. So it's more like the boss shoots something at you and you kind of have to work the environment so it ends up shooting itself. You don't have like an attack. It's all like figuring out the puzzles. And just as you keep going, so you can fly, you can turn into a worm and go through like tunnels. It's just all different. And I mean, I beat it in, I think, about 3.5 hours. It's not long. It's a sub $10 game. If you enjoy Metroidvanias it was very relaxing.
That's short even for a Metroidvania.
It was very relaxing. It's very accessible. Like it's easy. The maps opened up right away. Like when you die, you pretty much return to right where you died. So like if you screwed up like an obstacle or something, you're like right back there. It was a very enjoyable. Highly recommend. It's like $9. Um, so did that, and I think that's it. Did I play anything else?
I don't know, did you?
I don't think I did. Played a PC game, a PlayStation game, and a Switch game. Oh, on PC, I also played this game called Electhead, ELEC Head.
Yeah, I've heard.
I heard of it because Shuhei had tweeted about it maybe a month ago. It's this puzzle game where basically you control electricity, but like in the form of connecting currents. So like you jump on a platform, it's electrified. You jump off, it's not. So you kind of have to manipulate like platforms to move, and you have to figure out like, okay, if I jump quick, it'll only move a little. If I stay on it, it'll move too much, and you kind of have to. It's super it's 8-bit. It's just a simple game, but it's fun. Nothing fancy, but that's yeah, I think that was it. We had some news.
It wasn't like a super hype week because it's a holiday.
Yeah. Rumors of a Chrono Cross remake surfaced.
Also a collab. Like a mobile game.
Yeah, which
yeah. Just Square and their mobile games.
I guess the studio that was possibly working on this signed a deal with Square and Nintendo. So, and then there's something about this Irish folk singer said she recorded a song for something, and then like the composer of Chrono Cross was seen taking a picture with another composer whose band this singer with. It's brothers, roommates, fathers, uncles, makes us absolutely nothing. The point is, they're doing a remake of a sequel of one of the most celebrated SNES RPGs of all time, which is so bizarre.
If it's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and I get that sequel. We use the term sequel loosely here because it's not like you can play Chrono
It's like a Final
Cross.
Fantasy sequel.
Yeah, there's definitely more of a connection between Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross than there is Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy.
Depends on which one, yes.
Right. But it's just odd because Chrono Cross is not a bad game, but Chrono Trigger is the one that's celebrated more. So it's like, why wouldn't you do?
It's like, dear Square, this is called free money. Do you not want free money?
It's just it's bizarre. Like, why wouldn't you do? Like, why are you picking this game?
Unless there is some sort of logistical line of business licensing nightmare crisis that we don't know about. I don't understand.
I mean, I can't see it being, but if it's something like the Final Fantasy thing, this Final Fantasy VI thing where the code's lost, like Chrono Cross was on PlayStation.
Well, if it's a remake, the code being lost would be a kind of moot point. Like, you wouldn't have it jumping off. Remaster, yes.
But I meant like, but also we're talking about a Chrono Trigger was on SNES first. Chrono Cross was on PlayStation.
I just have one message though for Square Enix. Chrono Trigger and FF6 in the Octopath engine, I will give you all of my money. Okay, thanks, bye.
I don't know if I'd want Trigger in the.
It would be pretty. Do you want like a 3D remake of that? I'd be happy with a pixel remake, and the Octopath engine is pretty.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think Chrono Trigger in the I Am Setsuna engine, because that's more similar to what Trigger was.
I mean, I Am Setsuna, you're moving into that like 2.5D, like 3D, like character model type stuff. I like the pixels personally.
I prefer the pixels. I'm just saying from playing Trigger and with the way like I got heavy Chrono Trigger vibes when I played Cthulhu Saves Christmas and Cosmic Star Heroine. So I think more of that variety versus I think any RPG in the Octopath engine would be brilliant.
Especially FF6 especially, but I think Chrono Trigger would work as well.
I
But
think it
also
could
on a
work.
related note, Square, did you murder Tokyo RPG Factory or did you allow them to live after Oninaki? Please tell us. We'd like to know. Or at least
Seriously.
I'd like to know.
And we're getting a Switch release of 13 Sentinels this April.
I still need to play. I started it and then didn't have time for it, but I have heard amazing things about that game. It's not a massive seller, but I'm glad to see it coming to the Switch.
We have potential rumored PlayStation Plus lineup leak. This one's later than normal because the first Tuesday of the month is not till December 7th. So we'll actually get the December lineup in December. Usually we get it the last Wednesday.
It'll be live by the time this airs.
So supposedly the leak is Godfall, Lego DC Supervillains, and Mortal Shell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I think that's a fantastic lineup. I think Godfall's been ripe for a plus.
I think that's one of the only things that they can do to get people to play it at this point.
Yeah. And I think the issue with Godfall was more of a perception versus what we actually got.
Yep.
Because
marketing issues.
the people I talked to enjoyed it.
It's hard to launch that kind of a game too as part of a console launch.
Yes.
Where it really thrives on a multiplayer ecosystem for that co-op, and your console was hard to get a hold of. The game didn't have the best marketing perception going for it. There was confusion over the game's identity and what it really was in terms of the experience it was delivering. It wasn't like, insert AAA known established IP here that would, overcome a lack of consoles as a co-op multiplayer game launch. It didn't have that going for it. So right. I'll grab it if it's free. Why not? I probably won't play it, but I'll pick it up. Why not?
This is one of the few Plus titles I would download and actually try. Mortal Shells for Souls, if you haven't, it's indie Souls, I guess.
It's almost like AA Souls.
And you really can't go, unless you just hate Lego in general, the Lego games are always good fun. Unless you have they're corny, they're cheesy, they're full of puns. They're Lego.
I think it's certainly a diverse lineup. If it's the real lineup, it's a smart lineup for Sony because, again, they've been doing a really good job of either promoting indies and or first party titles, which both of these those boxes would be ticked with this lineup. And you certainly can't say it's one of those months where it's like, we already own this. Because a lot of people are not, I can't picture the person that owns all three of these games. It's a diverse, weird lineup with like a game like Mortal Shell where a lot of people might have slept on it or not heard about it because they're, not gamers TM on the Twitter, you know what I mean? Or Godfall, a lot of people just didn't want to pony up for that at launch or whatever. So we'll see what happens by the time this episode goes live.
We got some information on Horizon Forbidden West, just kind of sneaked right in there.
Not blog a big post.
Yeah, not a big deal made. Basically, the NPCs will have kind of reactions and attitudes. There'll be more interacting with them and not just them standing around.
It's also going to be more culturally identified. Like, obviously, so if you played Zero Dawn, you know that you can tell an Oseram from a Banuk, from whatever, Nora, insert, Karja here, because of the aesthetics, the way that they dress and generally where you find them. But like, you can tell, like, Aaron, who is an Oseram, sticks out when you go to the Karja capital. Like, he dresses very differently. He's got the heavy metal. But beyond that, what they're trying to do is have different behaviors. So like, part of the blog post is like talking about how different cultures will treat water, like just even the gathering and use of water and stuff like that. So more fleshed out world building. Not that Zero Dawn didn't have a fleshed out world to begin with, but it's more dynamic. They're just like trying to bring even more life to a game that's already like overflowing with life.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I'm always hesitant to this like attitude system. Like, if it is a like based on how you treat people, different characters will react to you differently. A lot of games have made the mistake of overpromising on that in the past. So TBD there, but I'm excited. Obviously this is my most anticipated game, which is saying something since FF16 is a thing that exists and has been announced. And it's me.
Well, Game Awards is coming up, so who knows what we'll see.
Yep.
Tales of Iron got an update which added a few levels and also a difficulty mode. It basically had no difficulty, just what was there. So it's a fun side-scrolling Souls-like. I'll post my shameless plug review insert here in the YouTube description, but no, it's definitely worth checking out. The
It
update
is on sale.
It is on sale.
Sort of, a little bit. It's like $18.99 instead of $24.99 or something like that right now.
And last but not least, Epic acquired Harmonix, and I think they were announced it with something with Fortnite, of course. I mean, can't blame Epic though. I mean, Fortnite's their cash cow. So
never heard of it. What's a Fortnite?
Yeah. So I think for now we'll just see stuff in Fortnite, but every week Fortnite gets a new character from a random universe. So we'll see what's going on. And then we have the Game Awards we mentioned last week. They will be next week.
We'll be talking about that. Well, I don't know. So next week is when we are going to be moving into our Game of the Year discussions.
Yes.
So
we'll see what the Game Awards brings. Hopefully nothing till like May, please. Like February has like 15 games.
February, March is like off limits. Don't touch. Get it the fuck out.
And just give us a breather in April.
Yeah.
But
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. And you know what? We're gamers, and it's not all about us.
But it's all about me, clearly. But
yeah,
that's okay.
It's all about you. But
it's all about me.
Yeah. That'll about do it for episode 96. And next time we catch you will be Game of the Year time. So want to take us out of here?
We don't have a moose, so I guess I'll do it. Bye.
At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXODmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Ray Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter at StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool at Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter at GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter at RedXMod. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be at infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.